Inland Sports.
All right, now we're going on to high school volleyball. This coach has been very gracious with her time. She's done the show several times now. We're bringing her back because she's a Big 8 League champion, trying to do it all over again. Head coach Courtney Krueger of Santiago. The Sharks join us here on the Inland Sports Show. And Coach, I probably sound like a broken record at this point, but the Big 8 League is always consistently so good in volleyball. You know, what does it mean to win a league championship in such a competitive league?
It means a lot because we didn't have a great season back in 2019, and then we lost our season in 2020 because of COVID. So the girls want to come out there and just reestablish our dominance. And so it means a lot because the competition is great. We always know those teams are going to go out there and give us their best game. And so we have to give them our best game. And so it's awesome to bring home that title last year again.
You know, you win that Big 8 League championship a season ago, and I know you got big expectations again, but I've asked this question to different coaches in different sports about coming out of COVID. It was almost having to like rebuild the program, almost like starting over in some sense. Did you kind of feel that way too? And did that make the league title a little more rewarding?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we had girls who had not been with us before. We had girls who had not tried out, and now they were brand new to the program. So we definitely felt like we were behind. We were missing a whole year there of evaluations and everything. So being able to come back and jump back with some of these new girls to the program, they knew our legacy and they wanted to continue it as well. So it was really awesome. And the enthusiasm was still just there, even if the girls were new to the program or not.
Speaking of new to the program, you had some great freshmen last year. There's another Blotzer on the roster.
Right.
Talk about maybe some of the impact players this season for the Sharks. And I know you've got a pair of sophomores who are probably going to be some of the best in our area.
Right. Yeah, we're actually in the middle of tryouts right now, so we're not quite sure our exact lineup yet or roster yet, but our returners are phenomenal. We graduated some really good seniors last year, but our bench was so deep that these girls are going to be able to jump right in and take control. But yeah, our super freshmen last year are super sophomores now, May Mitchell and Fallon Blotzer, and both of them have gotten better. And Fallon has grown to 6'1" now, and she's super dominant at the net. So our front row this year is going to be noticeable because I think the average height is going to be about 6 foot. So we've got some height there. So our offense and our blocking is going to be really great. I think that we're going to be one of the best in Southern California in that respect. And all the other pieces are going to fall into place too.
Well, Coach, you just stole my next question. I was going to say, what are going to be the strengths on this team? And it sounds like it's going to be, up front at the net, right?
Right. Yeah. Our offense, we're going to have a super balanced offense. It looks like this year with, of course, some go-to players as well. But we're hoping to balance that out because some years we've had some trouble. 2019 was one of them where we had only a few options. And this year it looks like we're going to have a lot of options on all of our positions and everything. Our block is big. It's going to be intimidating. And that looks great. And we have two amazing DS liberos as well. They're going to fight it out in the back row to see who gets that starting spot. So it's going to be good. And our serving has always been over the years one of the best. And we have some really good servers too. So those are our strengths.
Coach, you mentioned such a deep roster from a season ago. When you go through tryouts, when you get into actual practice leading up to that first game in about 3 weeks or so, how is the team getting better, improving during these tryouts and during these practices? Because it sounds like you have so much talent that it makes it very competitive.
It's very competitive. And really what it is we've established this idea that the girls need to get better every single day, and they're going to get better. We moved back up to the Division 1/2 in CIF. So we know we have to play with the big girls now. And it's a whole different ball game a lot of times. So all of these, it's designed to get us ready. And every single practice, we look at our weaknesses and say, okay, we do need to fix that. Just because we might be good at offense, we still need to be prepared for all of our shots and everything and not just be able to dominate some of these teams because sometimes you can't do that. And we're playing in the Queen's Court tournament this year, the preseason tournament. And that's always a good one because it doesn't count for record and we can play around with our lineups and then see what we have to fix and stuff before our first real matches. And our season this year is our match. All of our matches and stuff are pretty tough again. So we gotta be ready to go.
Coach, you bring up Queens Court. You said it's a great way to test out some different lineups. You're probably going to see some really good teams as well. It's a great place to experiment maybe a little bit and maybe give some of the younger players some experience before you see that first real game of the season. Can you talk about Queens Court and just the fact that there are really good teams and you are going to get some really valuable experience before that first real game of the season?
Yeah, Queens Court is awesome. We've been going to it now since 2017, and it's just one of those great experiences where it's 2 days of volleyball. There are awesome teams there. We sometimes, Mater Dei will sometimes come. You have a lot of the Southwestern team, Southwestern League teams will come. You have a lot of teams that you see, and it's a little bit of a freedom as a coach where you can say, hey, I'm going to play this lineup. It doesn't matter if we lose or not. We're going to be able to see who can click with each other on the court. And you get that valuable experience with winning and losing. And if you do well, it's kind of that good going into the season vibe of like, okay, we can do this. We did great. We see them again. Here's what we're going to do. So yeah, we love Queens Court. The girls are looking forward to it. And it just gives us a chance to see everybody before everything becomes real.
So if it goes really well, you'll just say, hey, see, I told you guys we're going to have a great season. And if it goes bad, you just say, well, it was just a exhibition. It didn't really count. Now we work those out. We're going to be better, right?
Exactly. I could just throw it out the window like, oh, see, that was just preseason. It doesn't matter.
You guys will be fine, though. I'm sure you guys will have a great Queens Court. Coach, going back to last year, you mentioned going up to Division 1/2 for CIF playoffs this year. Last year, Division 3. I think you made it to the second round. But do you feel like jumping up to the bigger divisions, you guys ready for that challenge?
We are. We actually made it to the quarterfinals last year. And we lost to El Toro, who ended up winning it with a little bit of that controversy last year with Division 3. But El Toro was a fantastic team. And with all the returners coming back, they were talking about during boys season of what we needed to fix and what we're going to do when we move up divisions, because we were pretty sure that we were going to. But the girls really rise to the occasion. They really like the challenge. They like the fact that we're in the higher division. They like the fact that, we're going to play the best teams in the Southern section. And they say pretty much bring it on, because they do know that we can compete and beat these teams. And a lot of the girls are already talking, it's like, we want to get back to finals. We want that ring and everything. So they're looking at it going, okay, who's in our way and what do we have to do to get back to finals? So they're ready for it.
There's not a better place to get ready for CIF playoffs than the Big 8 League, right? Playing all those great teams.
Absolutely. Our league is one of the best in the area. Everybody always throws their best game at us. And when we have to play King and Norco and Roosevelt, and they just come right after another, when we play them, we know that if we're doing well against them, we're going to do well against these teams we face in playoffs, because they're all powerhouses too. And so it definitely gets us ready for what we're going to face when we come to these really good teams in playoffs.
Coach, you mentioned you're going through the tryout process, so we won't name names, but you do have some younger players who got some great experience. You had a lot of depth last year. How important do you think that was, last year's experience, to go into this season? Do you feel like you guys can build off what you had from last year?
For sure. And a lot of the girls too, the chemistry last year was really good. And I think this year it's going to be great as well. Those girls, they know each other well, and a lot of them are front row players. And so it's really important in the front row to not bang into each other and to know, who has the hot hand and everything. So I think that experience is going to roll over greatly. We still have a lot of young players, and we're going to have those young players on the roster again this year. And their growth process is huge. Just maturing and learning how to play at this level, and everything has been great. And so this year, I feel like they're just going to use last year's experience and say, okay, we've been through playoffs once, we know what it feels like, and now we're ready to do it again. And let's go through that and let's do it.
All right, finally, Coach, are you big on those team building exercises? Maybe you take the team to go out bowling, or maybe it's karaoke night at Coach's house, so the girls just get together and, relax and get to know each other. Have you guys done anything like that in the off season? Are you big on that, or is it more just, on the court kind of stuff?
We do both. The girls take it upon themselves to go and have team dinner nights. And so they do that, which is great. They do that before a lot of the league matches. And so they can bond and everything. Our culture is very big on chemistry and kind of the, if you've heard of the All Blacks rugby team, sweep the shed. We work on that kind of stuff too, to really, it's bigger than volleyball, and to really work as one whole unit instead of individually and everything. So we do a lot of that on the court. We do a lot of weightlifting. It's kind of like, they get a lot of camaraderie through the sweat and through the tears and everything. And so our teams tend to be very close with one another because they work really hard on the court and they want to see each other succeed. And so that's kind of the culture we're trying to build. And then it's great because you see them off the court and they're getting together, they're having fun, they're going to football games together and everything. So it definitely helps with our success with the girls being that close to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. That totally makes sense. Coach Krueger, always thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I cannot believe volleyball season is right around the corner. I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's like August 16th. You open with Chaparral. Does that sound right?
That is correct. It's going to be a great match. I start the girls off right away with a bang and say, all right, let's go down there. Let's get it done.
I always love it. It doesn't matter the sport, baseball, volleyball, football, when the Big 8 and the Southwestern League get together. I always love it. So.
Oh, it's great. We have a huge rivalry with them. It's awesome. They have a great league down there too. It's awesome.
All right, that is Courtney Krueger, head coach of the Santiago girls volleyball team here on the Inland Sports Show. Thank you so much, Coach. Really appreciate that.
Inland Sports.